Yeah, welcome everyone. So we were on the session that I was talking about how to do the histogram, and we also saw some box plot, but as I said, the interpretation of the same it might take more of our time here. So I'm much only concentrating on how we can get those. And then in this lesson, I'll talk much on how we can do the scatter plot. Yes, Leonard, I can see a hand up.
I didn't mean to raise up.
It's okay.
So,
It's
yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we proceed. Let me share my screen as well. And yeah, we were here.
Yeah.
Sure. So unfortunately, in the data set that I have, the WASH does not have two continuous variables. Continuous means, like, for example, in this context, age is continuous while sex is categorical. So like it has two categories, either you are male or female. And these days there are more categories of sex, but let's stick to the odd ones, either you are male or female. So that's a categorical one, whilst age is 15, 16 up through 30, up to 60. So that's a sort of a continuum, like a continuous process. So I will go back to the dataset called food, because the dataset that is called food had some continuous variables. So I'll just rename that dataset, but it also has the long, if I check the names, so I'll put name, I hope you remember this command. If I do food, I get it to have a lot of like long names. District name, own at least one cow, income in 2012. So I need to shorten this. So if you remember well, what we did that time was to copy this up to here. And then here we will say, okay, create a new variable called food, and then rename a lot of things. So I will paste them here. And then I will do like highlight the whole of this up to here. Then the first one is group. I'll put it in small letters, group equal to the way it's written here, group. And I'll put a comma, and then I'll remove the whole of this chunk as well. I truly know that you know the whole of this process, but just for the sake. So this one will be just district instead of district name, but from the background I'll be knowing what I'm naming it. So I remove this one also. On at least a cow, I'll just say on cow, and then equal to should be that. And you see that it's still complaining. Why? It's because the data set is treated, it has some tick, we call them tick backs. If you are using any machine, be it Apple or be it a Windows machine, there is a tab button. So on top of the tab button, there is just before, or the button adjacent to one from your left. So you need to put that tick back, because that's how it's encoded here. That's why it's complaining. I just realized this. So you put that, that's how you encoded there. And I'll also do the same here, put this tick back, it's called tick back, and then I'll put a comma, and then you see that it's no longer complaining. So if I do that, and then this one will be just income 2012, and then equal to, I'll put a tick back, capital income, and then here I'll also put a tick back, sorry, and There we go. And then this one, I'll just name it maize, but I'll know it's maize in acres. Maybe I can put them at the end. This one, I'll just say on solar equal to and then wow. So I will do that quickly to that side as well. I'll put it here, and at the end here it's complaining because there is no comma. Here it's complaining because there is no comma. Here it can also complain there is no comma. So let me do this way. And then similarly, remove this chunk. And then here I'll put num, that's number of bags storage, or I'll just bags 2012 equal to number of bags 2012. And here I'll put as well what savings 2012. I'm about to be there. So for this one, I'll just copy the very same bags. So I'll copy bags and then put here. But then this one is in 2013. So I'll put 2013. I'll copy savings as well. And then put it here. And then this one is also 2013. So 2013. It's still complaining because there is no comma here. This one is still complaining because there is no tick back and no tick back. And this one has also no tick back and no tick back. And then it's complaining because there's yeah, like that. Then this one should work now. And then it calls me, it says that Moses, you get an error. Yes, it says that it's not found. I hope you know why it's giving me an error here. So it's because I haven't identified from which this data is from. So this one is from a data set called food. So if I just put food there, it should work now. So like for you, I just did the whole process, but for the data, the values that we will be using in this data set will only be continuous variables. So we were just supposed to rename the continuous variables, but like the continuous variables that we are going to use is these ones, savings in 2012 and savings in 2013. And yeah, and then income. And then possibly a district also, just to know like from which district. So in short, a scatter plot is you wanna see how one continuous variable fares upon the other continuous variable. For example, does age of a person relates to the height of a person? So maybe in childhood, yes. As the child, the age increases in years, then his height also increases in years. There is sort of a relationship between the two. So you can do a scatter plot and understand that relationship. Since age is continuous, height is also continuous, or weight is continuous. That's why we can be able to do the scatter plot. So here as well, I'll do a scatter plot of these two variables. I want to understand for farmers who had savings in 2013, in 2012, did they had also savings in 2013? Like, was there any relationship between these two? I know it might make sense in agricultural perspective, but we're just trying to make it like for a demonstration. So I will just say, okay, I can use R, the actual command R without any ggplot or whatever. So I'll put like, I'll put plot, and then I'll say, okay, what's the dataset code? The dataset code is called, the dataset is called food. And then I'll say, okay, plot this one and the very same. This is without using ggplot, and then the very same, and then for 2013. So if I do that, then this one was bugs rather, so that's why it's giving me some difficult time, but this one should be savings. So if I do that, I know it that just like I said earlier on, that it might not make sense in the agricultural perspective, but if you are understanding, then this is how a scatter plot looks like. So as the number, like in this context, increases for this one, then the number increases also. In other way around, if the savings of a person were 2,000, we expect like another higher savings in 2013, for example. This is just for demonstration's sake. And you can do a lot depending on the what you are trying to achieve at the end. So this is, we are creating a scatter plot, so that's how we do the scatter plot. But then we can use ggplot as well. So if you use ggplot, which I want you to be like in love with. So if I put food here, then I'll say, okay, let's first of all map an x-axis, an x-axis to be what? X-axis should be savings in 2012. Okay, and y-axis should be saving in 2013, for example. Savings in 2013. In 2013. If I do that, I get an error. Oh yeah, because here savings, there was no G. So if I do that, I should be able to get a map here. But it's blank. Yeah, because I did not tell the ggplot what I need to do. Did I look for something else, like a line, for example? So if I needed a scatter plot. So a scatter plot is treated as geom point. So I get geom point. If I do that, then happy, I have them now. So if I check this one, I am fine, I have them now. So, and then I can add the title as well. I can add the title, I can add the title by using GG title. So this is scatter plot for savings in 2012 versus 2013, but then this one should be in quotes. So if I do that and I close here, I run this one. I run this one, run it, I have that. And then I can add, the label down here is not well. So I will say, okay, x-axis label it as savings in the year 2012. And then label as well, Y label, and I'll say, okay, savings in the year 2013. And I get that one. So I have savings year 2012 and savings year 2013. I can also do the scatter plot, but for example, separately for each district. So I will just need to do what? In here, I'll need just to extend it with color. So I'll say, okay, color my scatter plot by district. That means I'm going to like do it separately for each. So as you can see from our context, that means the Busia one is the red one and the Butere is the green one. Or if I can try to expand it so that you see it well. Try to expand it. Yeah, so that's how it appears. I can also choose to do it like separate using the very same color. So we are going to use what are known as facets. So like to put them separately. So I'll add a facet. Okay, so there's two facets, facet wrap and then facet grid. So facet wrap, for example, if I do that, and then let's see what happens. It's complaining again. Why it's complaining? Because I want to do some facets. Facets means I want to separate the two scatter plot based on a categorical variable. For example, I want to separate these two. One scatter plot should be for Bosia and one scatter plot should be for Butere. So I need to specify here to say, okay, make it district now. And then it's complaining, says district, object district not found. I think it's something that is just maybe spelling the way I named it. So if we do this one, and then this one, okay, still complaining. Okay, so what do we do? It's maybe just spelling issue, but it's supposed to work. No, it's still complaining. Okay, so I can also include it maybe here. Maybe that's why it's complaining. Color equal to, sorry, no, district. And still complains. I don't know why it's complaining and why I'm missing it, but it was supposed to work in that way. And maybe just a second, I can see one of the previous codes. For my thesis, I once used facets for data. I don't know where I'm missing it, but it was supposed to be working surely. And so once you put facets, it will like demarcate separately, each for the district, like Butere separately for the other district, which is just forgotten the name, which is Busia. So let me just quickly check on some of my previous codes, but it was supposed to work. Unfortunately, sometimes things don't work the way we expect them to, or at least when they are working today, don't expect them to work on another day. Yeah. So as I search for the other, on how to use the facet one, we can proceed and try to check on the next one, which is a line plot or a line graph. So a line graph will not be that much difficult because we have already used a histogram. So we can just copy the code of a histogram. I mean, sorry, we have already drawn it a scatter plot. We can only change on the geom point and change it to a geom line, and then we get a line plot. So for example, the same code, okay, the same code. Then I can just copy the whole of this chunk and then duplicate down here for the line. And now instead here of putting a geom, okay, instead of putting a geom point, I'll put a geom line. So if I put a geom line, then I should be able to get those two lines. I know the lines are a bit crazy, but that's how it looks. Yeah, well, that's how it looks. And then we can just maybe for the first time we need to remove that so that at least we only have one. In this data set, they are not making sense, but that's the way we do it in the actual data set that maybe you'll be working on. That's how we use them. And then you can also do the same as I said for separate for the district, just like I added here. So if we add here, for example, color this one equal to, and then I say district, and then I have like separately each one separately for the for Busia and for as well as for for Busia and for Butere. So there it was not working. I got one of my codes working. So I will need just to put here plus facet or facet wrap, and then you put this one is called what in English? On the very same tick bar, but the top one. If you just you press shift and then the very same way we are getting tick bar. So if I say district, this should work now. Yeah. So if I do that, then you'd see that I forgot this little symbol here, this little symbol. That's why it was complaining. So if you go that, and then you see here now, it has drawn a scatter plot, one for each. So Busia region is this, and then this one is Butere district. So it has created a scatter plot based on a separate. The same we can do for the line plots here. If I said facet wrap, and then I'll put the very same shift and then tick back, and then I say district like that. If I run that, it will also do the same. It will separate like each for each. I mean, one for each case. So we have this one on separate and the other one on separate. And then you would see that there is sort of the data here is concentrated from 0 to around maybe 3,000 maximum. Similarly, in this region, it's concentrated from 0 to around maybe 2,000. Now, in this regard, you would need maybe just to remove values that are above 2,000. Otherwise, you'll be getting what is known as noise, like a lot of things in your data set as if they are explaining what is supposed to, but they are not. So that's how we can do the scatter plot. As for the next one was supposed to be the pie chart. Pie chart is very easy in other softwares like SPSS or whatever, Excel and the like, but it is a bit tricky in R. So I would need maybe to dedicate pie chart on its own day, like we going to explore how to come up with pie charts. And then these other charts that you have also seen maybe somewhere, like donuts charts and etc. That maybe they are more appealing into the eyes of the people. Unfortunately, in statistics, we don't much recommend those. We recommend for the simple charts, but it's okay. We can try to explore all of them. Now, that's what I mostly prepared for the day. Unfortunately, my course outline on WhatsApp was too ambitious. I think mostly we can try to leave it from here and maybe continue next time working mostly on the pie charts. I'm just going back to WhatsApp and see what else can we cover from there. So there was bar graph that is done, Rhine charts I've just demonstrated, histogram we just did, and then the pie chart is the one that I was saying that we need to like a dedication 1 hour doing the pie charts and the like, and the donut charts. And then the box plot, I also demonstrated this one. Then the scatter plots, we just did some scatter plot now. And then there is stem and leaf. So stem and leaf is not that much also important, but we can, well, try to see and how it works. So I'll see from this one, for example, maize, for example. Maize has 10101. Okay, like acres, how many acres of land you have. So that one doesn't take much. You need just to do stem, and then you get the data set, which is called food. And then you need the variable called maize, for example. If you run this one, unfortunately, it will give not good interpretation. Like we only have here one that has like 1.5, 1.5. Unfortunately, this one won't give you a good interpretation, but let me try another one if possible. Maybe from the data code wash. So if you do stem and then wash 3, and then you can get maybe for age, for example. So if you do that, then this is the output that you get. So looks like a leaf with a stem with its leaves. And mostly it's because there are no decimal points here. Like that's why maybe we are getting this kind of zeros. But we can try the same just to improvise. So I will say, okay, age 2. And then I will say a data code wash 3 and pick age, and then multiply it. I want just to generate the numbers that have decimal points. So multiply it by 2. If I get age 2, you find that this one has now numbers, decimal points. In the first place, if I just get wash $, then age, sorry, this was wash 3, then age, like that. These were just raw figures like 18, 19. So that's why I created a separate one for age 2. So if you do stem and then age 2, and then if I do that, you find that this stem is a bit different from the one that we saw before, because the one that we saw before that had a lot of zeros. And the interpretation of this also, as I would say, would take maybe like another day to explore what does the STEM do and when is it necessary that you can do it and when it's not necessary that you should do STEM. And then that's for STEM. And then we did some, if time permits, we do the following. Unfortunately, we already did the select. I have just recalled that we did the select function where you have a large data set, but you want to select certain variables into a small data set. And then we also did some filter. And so we did some filtering. We filtered age, those that are above 15 and those that are below 60. And we also did some grouping. So you remember if I did summarize I summarized something and then group it by something. So if I go up there here, so for example, we had to group by 6 and summarize the age by count, by mean, by minimum, and then we can also do maximum and the right. And then order by using arrange, and then we already did mutate, creating new variables using mutate. Then join separate data frames by using join. So this one is the one that we haven't done, like for the join. Join is you have two data sets. So for example, you were conducting a survey, and this survey, you were using maybe tablets, for example. So each enumerator had a tablet that maybe you had to extract data and put it to your PC. In this context, you might have multiple Excel files or multiple CSV files. And then you need to join all of these into one file so that you can do the analysis. So that's the function join. And then arrange, it also arranges the, like maybe from descending, like from A to Z or from Z to A, from 1 to 10, 10 to 1, things like that, things like those. So I want to also maybe put this next week for these two, order as well as join and pie chart. So more of next week, we will be dealing with those. I don't know if you have any questions, and if maybe from your, today I wanted us to, like, for the 5 minutes that is remaining, if you have any question pertaining to R, and if you have some issues that we can try maybe to just like elaborate. But as I said earlier already, that if something is troubling you, try to Google. It might mean that someone already went through that kind of process. So I open the floor to anyone who has any questions or remarks. So it looks like no one is, but okay, maybe I should say, are the lessons helping?
Yes, the lessons are helping.
Such that if I have an assignment one day, I'll just say, hey,
hello?
Yes, John, can you do it for me? And then you do it for me.
No, an assignment has to be given in, like, to be done in advance, not just like, just hey. But this is something that is we are following it. It's good.
Okay.
It just needs practice within the week, as you said, but it's good. And then I know that R is a good app that can give you some good graphs, whatever that you may need, for example, during research or maybe somewhere where maybe in yours. It's a good one.
All right, thank you. Yes, I had to cut you short, Kefas, we can come in.
All right, I was saying that the lessons are helping. Personally, I myself am benefiting a lot from these lessons. So I really appreciate.
Wonderful. Leonard, you are talking.
Yeah, for me, I'm really interested to learn this because next year I'll be doing my research and I wanted to use maybe SPSS as well as R in my data analysis. So it's really helpful.
Ah, okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Jumbe, any sentiments you have? Sharika, I think it should be. Oh, yeah, come on.
Yeah, I was saying I'm following and it's helpful, of course.
Okay.
Only that it needs some time to practice, but it's working.
Okay. Sharika, I know it's night there, but just one word, then we say bye to each one of us.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Moses. It's helping, and moreover, the script you send, that is more helping for us, because when you are trying, you may forget like what to write when it's first time, right? But
Yeah.
when you have the script, you can just like change few things and you can work that on your database. It's really helping.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. So yeah,
Thank you so much.
I'll upload the recordings and then I'll also share you the script. I think our time is up. Thank you everyone for joining and enjoy the week. Hope to see you and talk to you Sunday, same time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.